What up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 14 of You Might Be Surprised. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? My name's Chris. I'm glad you guys are tuning into this episode of You Might Be Surprised. 14 weeks, dude. 14 weeks of doing a podcast. Ha! I didn't think I could do it, but here I am. 200 downloads later. 14 weeks. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm excited, dude. I had a freaking awesome lift today at the gym, and we're going to talk about something that I actually care about, dude. I actually care about this topic today, dude. You probably saw from the title of this, but we're going to talk about it. And what are we going to talk about, Chris? What are we going to talk about, dude? What are we going to talk about? What has you this excited? And let me tell you, we're going to talk about Jeep versus the Ford Bronco. All right. So a little bit of backstory, okay? The 2021 Ford Bronco got announced this past Monday. I don't even know what. This past Monday. Today's the 16th, 15th, 14th, 13th. It's either the 12th or the 13th, dude. Math. Okay. So the Bronco gets announced. And the whole world is set on fire. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, the Bronco's back. To be honest, I don't really think it ever left. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm pulling up my notes. I have notes on this shit, dude. Okay. So yeah, I don't think the Ford Bronco ever left, okay? But let's get this out of the way. I've only driven a Jeep. My first car was a 2012 Jeep Wrangler Sport. Okay. Two-door. Amazing car. In January of this year, maybe before, like the end of December, I traded in that Jeep and got a four-door Jeep 2016 Sport. It's all white. It's sick. Okay. So I wanted to give a comparison to what a Jeep fanatic thinks, okay? Now, I'm not a crazy Jeep person. I don't mod the crap out of my Jeeps. I like the Jeeps, how they look stock. I do want to put a lift kit on, but here's the thing. I know I'm going to be trading this Jeep off within the next couple of years because I see the future. I'm going to be making bank. So I want to get a fully loaded Jeep, dude, okay? But the Ford Bronco, man. The Ford Bronco, it looks good. I saw that Ford Bronco and I was like, okay. I never really understood the Bronco. I also didn't really understand why O.J. Simpson, why he became so popular with the Ford Bronco until I actually watched the tape of him running away from the police in an all-white Ford Bronco, dude. That's crazy. So let me break down the Jeep for you, okay? From owning two Jeeps, let me tell you the one thing that I love. The one thing I love about the Jeep is you feel powerful when you drive it, okay? Because those cars are not really meant to be driven on the road. They're meant for off-roading, okay? But because they're meant for off-roading, not a lot of people have them. Okay, so the plus side is you look really cool. The downside is you pay a lot in gas. I fill up every week for $30, okay? But you don't drive a Jeep for fuel economy. You drive a Jeep so you can wave at other Jeeps, and so girls on the street think that you're cool. That's why you drive a Jeep. You want to feel cool. And boy, do you feel it. So the downsides of a Jeep, from my experience, is they're really hard to buy into for the price point. For a baseline model, I believe a basic two-door, like if you were to get like a 2020 Sport, which is the lowest end, it's going to cost you $30,000. And I don't know if the new ones have this, but from my experience, they're basic. No upgraded. You don't get the cool touchscreen that plugs into your phone, so you get your maps on there. You don't get upgraded speakers. You just get a basic Jeep, which honestly is fine. When I had my basic 2012 Jeep, it was fine. It handled the best in the snow, and it handled amazing during the winter. It was simple to pop the roof off, even though I only took it off once because I was a nerd, okay? And it's simple, but looks sleek. Okay, so $30,000 for a very basic. You can make the argument that most cars on that price range for $30,000 should have really nice features. Oh, I didn't mention that the $30,000 Jeep didn't have electric windows. Okay, keep that in mind. So it pretty much just depends, because for $30,000 you can buy a Toyota Camry and get heated seats and all this BS. Okay, but you're gonna be looking like a dork. Okay, I'm a fashion dude. I like to look good and I like to feel good. I will always look good and feel good for the rest of my life. I hate the style that grown-ups wear, like for clothes and stuff, because it's so basic. I will always look fashionable, and I don't even like pull off fashion that well. I just see things and I like it and I wear it. Same thing with cars. I see a Jeep. I will probably for the rest of my life drive a Jeep unless I get a Tesla. Okay. So for $30,000 you get a stock Jeep with nothing. And then for like $35,000, I think, or maybe it's like 32 or 33, you get the four-door Jeep with stock, but with the four-door Jeep you get the electric windows and stuff, but you don't get any of the fancy leather and stuff. My biggest complaint about Jeeps: you're spending $30,000 to $33,000 for a basic ass Jeep. Okay? You would think for $30,000 to $33,000 that you would get some cool features. Dude, I have a 2016 four-door Jeep, and the thing that pisses me off the most, hey Jeep, if you're listening, for a $33,000 car, why do your speakers sound like shit? Huh? They are the worst sounding speakers in the world. You're paying $33,000. Take $800 and put in a sub and put in better speakers. Okay? Now, if you like Jeeps, you'll know about the Alpine sound system. Yada yada yada. BS. That's even like the baseline. It sounds mediocre. That's the one downside to Jeeps. Okay, now, so let's cut to the Ford Bronco. Okay? The Ford Bronco for the first time next year is going to have 4 doors. They better. If they didn't have a 4-door version of the Ford Bronco, no one would actually buy it, dude. Okay? Okay? So now you're getting a 2-door and 4-door car. Now let's talk about the history of the Bronco. I never really got into it. I still don't really understand. It was pretty much Ford just trying to get into the market of Jeep. I'm pretty sure Jeep was like made in like the 1940s. It was made as like a war car. So then Jeep has been going on since the 1940s. And then I think in the 1960s, 1966, the Ford Bronco was announced. And I think that it was a very mediocre car. I don't know, okay? If you're listening to this, let me know. Tweet at me at YMBS Chris, okay? And let me know, because I could be so far out of line. But it pretty much just looks like a ripoff of Jeep. I get it, though. I get it. There's history to it. O.J. Simpson, dude. The only reason why I would buy a Bronco is just so I could feel like I'm getting away with murder. I'm kidding. He's innocent or whatever. But dude, that's the only. I feel like the Bronco. So many people are gonna buy the Bronco and just make O.J. Simpson references, dude. I bet you, dude. Dude, okay. Imagine this. Okay. You're in a big. Imagine that you work for Ford, okay? And you're having a pitch meeting for the Ford Bronco. And you're 26, okay? Just fresh into this career, dude. All right? And you're at this pitch meeting, and they're like, "Hey, Bob, do you have any ideas for the Ford Bronco?" And dude, I bet you Bob was like, "Why don't we make the orange color for the Bronco? Why don't we call it OJ Orange?" And the whole place just like, "Out, leave. You're no longer welcome here." Dude, the only reason, oh, dude, and for marketing purposes, they should have a Ford commercial where it's like the new 2021 Ford Bronco. When you drive it, you feel like you get away with murder. Dude, think about the marketing for the Ford Bronco. And then once it goes with like, when you drive this car, it makes you feel like you get away with murder. And then it goes to that really fast voice, which is like, Ford does not condone accidentally killing your wife and all this stuff, like the really, really fast voice. When you do, or like they should do like when you buy this car, you get one get out of jail free card. Imagine. Dude, the marketing that they're missing out. If they don't have O.J. Simpson market this car, they're losing out on so much money. If O.J. Simpson just walked on camera and just said Bronco, billions. Ford's making billions, dude. Bro. All right, so back to I don't really know much about the Bronco, dude. I just know that the competing price is a little bit it's a little bit higher, but the one thing that Ford will probably do right is for $30,000 you're going to get some nice features. They had freaking Bryan Cranston. I am the one who knocks. If you know what that's from, Bryan Cranston was the main character in Breaking Bad and his one show, Wonder. He was though, and why him though? I'll give Bryan Cranston that. They had Bryan Cranston do the marketing piece, and that was pretty cool. And I do like the design of the Bronco. Okay, I do like the design of the Bronco. All jokes aside, the Bronco looks pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the colors. They did like a dull pastel colors, from what I remember. But like I'm a basic car dude. It's either red, black, white, or yellow. And yellow's just so you could say fuck you. Just saying. But do I think that it's gonna be as good as a Jeep? I think that the hype is real because the Bronco hasn't been around for 40 years or something like that. Whatever, 2020 minus 1960, or like whenever, I think it's been like 20 years. So next year, like, it already has a lot of hype. There's a lot of celebrities that are gonna buy it. But here's the thing though, you could get like an old pimped out Bronco. I saw a Bronco on Instagram that was 100% electric. So that's pretty cool. If they made a 100% electric Bronco, I would completely switch. Because I like electric cars and I want to keep the earth safe. But the cool thing that Jeep did on the 2021 release date, okay? If you know Jeep One of the downsides of Jeep is that it's only a 3.6 V6, and I think the new ones now are like a twin turbo 4-liter. I think I don't know cars that well, but so the biggest thing that people want with the Jeep is a V8 version, and I agree. I would love to have a V8 Jeep, and dude, the moment so Ford releases this press conference saying the Bronco's back. They have this commercial with Bryan Cranston, and it's this dope commercial. It looks dope. Everyone's pumped for the Ford Bronco. And I'm pretty sure, okay, the Ford Bronco only comes in a V6, I think. Could be wrong. But from when I looked up, I only saw V6 models of it. And you want to know what Jeep did? Jeep did the biggest dick move in the car industry. The day that Ford drops the Bronco, Jeep announces next year they're making Jeeps with V8. It's going to have like 400 horsepower, and I'm about it. I don't care how much that car is. I'm getting it. I don't care if I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm getting it. I want to turn on my Jeep and hear So one downside about Jeep too. There's a couple downsides to owning a Jeep. But I would like to turn the car on and it actually sound like an off-roading car, dude. That's what I want. And that's what I'm going to get next year. But the one thing that Ford can do that Jeep can't do is Ford's just such a bigger company, I think, than Chrysler. Because Chrysler owns Jeep, if you didn't know. I think Ford can do a lot more marketing. One of the cool things too about Jeeps is that like they hold their value like stupid well. So like you could have like a 2010 Jeep and sell it 10 years later, and if it has like 70,000 miles, you'll probably still get pretty close to what you paid for it, because people love Jeeps. But Ford can probably do some cooler marketing things, and they're able to produce cars faster. So they could probably do some cooler things. One of the things that I thought of, dude, mark my words, I'm going to bring back this podcast in like 2 years when there's a new Transformers and one of the main characters is a Ford Bronco. Calling it, dude. Maybe not one of the main characters, but it's going to be like one of the side piece characters, and they're going to make the dude funny. I can see it being played by either a dude that has a really deep voice or like a Mexican. I don't know why, like not like a Mexican, but like one of those like fat, like the dude from Ant-Man. I forgot his name, but you know what I'm talking about. The dude from Ant-Man that talks super fast. He's gonna play a Ford Bronco in Transformers. I'm calling it, and he's gonna be a Decepticon too. Okay. Because they want the Ford Bronco to be kind of cool. Because who wants an Autobot Bronco? That's what it is. The Jeep's the Autobot, the Bronco's the Decepticon. Autobots are good, Decepticons are bad, but you kind of like to go for the bad things, dude. You kind of like to. I had another point that I was going to make. Dude, I had another point that I was going to make. Let me pull back up my notes. I think I had it written down. Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, I'll probably think of it when I'm talking about my next subject, but yeah, Ford versus Jeep, dude. It's crazy. I was hyped for the Bronco, but it's hard not to, like, if you drive a Jeep, you know, they're just so satisfying to drive. And I figured out what I wanted to say, dude. I'm going to be so pissed. I'm actually getting pissed thinking about it, dude. I'm going to be so mad if Broncos start waving to each other. Oh, dude, that's going to piss me off. So if you don't know, Jeeps have the Jeep Wave. I do 3 different types of Jeep Waves, okay? There's this, so this is the steering wheel. There's one where it's like this, and then I do one like this, and then I also do one like, hey, I don't sound gay when I say hey. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but hey, nothing wrong. So, dude, if the Bronco, they're definitely going to have something stupid just to piss off Jeep Waves. They're probably gonna flash with their foot. They're gonna be driving, be like, hey, flash with their foot. They're gonna bring their foot up above the steering wheel. Hey, dude, they're gonna do it too, and it's gonna make me so mad. A Harley's driving through my neighborhood. That scared the crap out of me. Anyways, dude, the Bronco's cool, but it's not as cool as a Jeep. Okay, but we'll see. Maybe in a couple years you'll see me driving a Bronco, and I'm like, to Jeeps. But you never know, dude. You never know. So, let's talk. I want to start talking about my speech. So I think once or twice a month, or like, there's a couple things that I want to do. One is I really want to talk about my speech. I think I can reach out and reach a broader audience and kind of be like a role model to people who have speech impediments. It's hard to do what I do when I have a stutter. And I know when you're watching this or hearing this, I've said that I've had a stutter multiple times, but it's hard to actually see that I have one. It's probably because I'm so comfortable and it's just me here, and I just have to worry about myself, and I'm very calm and I'm happy and I'm goofy a lot of the times. So like for me, like I notice that when I have a stutter, it's normally due to stress and anxiety based, because I think someone's going to judge me, or I'm going to be made fun of, or I'm going to lose I'm having a brain fart, or I'm going to lose their interest in the conversation and in me. Like that's like the biggest thing, like especially when I, like, even now I'm 23 and like talking to girls still, I get very anxious and stuff because I think that they're going to judge me and be like not wanting to be into me because I have a speech impediment. So I think that I can start reaching a broader audience. And I thought about making a different podcast for this, but I think I'm just gonna put it all in one. And I think I'm just gonna call it like easy speech. Like for example, like Joe Rogan has like the fight companion, but he just throws it up on his podcast too, but he just doesn't name it, or he just doesn't label it as one of his episodes. I think that's what I'm gonna start to do. I tried recording one last night, and I just kept on jumping back and forth between topics and stuff because I have so many stories and things that like I want to be serious in this podcast. I'm a very goofy person, but I want to be serious / funny, and just bring light to it, and it'll help me talk about it. And if anyone catches on and like likes what I'm saying, they can also listen and subscribe and stuff. And also, I think I want to start vlogging. I recorded like a stupid little vlog. It's gonna be like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But I sometimes look at famous people or people who I look up to and see the way that they did things. I'm like, okay, this is the way that I have to do it. Like, I love comedy, so I look at people like Chris D'Elia, even though say what you want about him, but like he just went to the clubs and he just loved telling jokes, and then he started a podcast, and his podcast fed into his stand up and like that's just like people gain from that. So I'm like, okay, for me to have a comedy podcast, I have to go up and do stand up, which is something I still want to do. It's just very hard to do it with Corona and stuff. I need to still write comedy. I really do, but dude, my fucking schedule is so my schedule is so hard, dude. But I think I really want to start focusing more on content. I get obsessed. I get obsessed with equipment. Okay, like when I learned how to play the guitar, I was like, okay, this guitar will make me a better guitar player. When in reality, just practicing does. So I'm trying to write better podcasts, get my flow going, try to have consistent content. Because like this podcast just jumps back and forth because like that's what I listen to is like podcasts that just bullshit. And like that's what I like doing. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. But like for them, they have credibility. They're comedians and stuff. And for me, I don't have much credibility. I'm just a person who started a podcast and graduated college last year and is trying to somehow do what he likes to do. And like, I mean, I don't care if I make money from this. I really don't. I just like knowing that I have a voice, especially when I thought my whole life having a speech impediment that I didn't have a voice. So I just like talking to a mic and making content, and I'm hoping like as the podcasts go that my content will be better and people will start to like it. So yeah, and there's so much like the hardest thing for me is to realize that I'm only 23. And it's also hard for me because I look at all these other 23-year-olds and people in like Hollywood and stuff that have made it, who are making millions of dollars, granted if they're happy or not. And I'm like, why am I not there? And everyone has their own path and everyone's on their own journey. And I need to remind myself every day that like, this is my path. This is what I'm going to do. And my path is going to wind and wind and wind. And I'm hoping one day everything will just make sense and I'll know what I'm doing works. So thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. This is probably one of my favorite podcasts I've recorded so far. Episode 14, man. It's crazy. If you're listening to this on audio, make sure you check out the YouTube. The YouTube is literally You Might Be Surprised podcast. If you're listening to this on audio or on video, subscribe, like. It means a lot. And don't forget to download it and take me in your pocket. I can be on your phone. You can listen to me while you're at work, dude. You could be getting mad with me about the Ford Bronco. I'm on pretty much every single major podcasting platform. Apple, Spotify, Pandora, I think I got approved for that this week. So maybe not. I could be wrong. But who listens to podcasts on Pandora? Anyways, follow me on Instagram. You Might Be Surprised podcast, dude. It's popping there. I only have like 20 followers, but dude, I love those 20 followers. They're mine. And follow me on Twitter, YMBS_Chris. I'll try to put up links and stuff. But yeah, man, everything's linked down below. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. This is one of the first podcasts that I've done in a while that things just make sense. And I think it's because I'm talking about something that I actually care about. Would you look at that, dude? So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Chris. You've been beautiful. Try something new. You might be surprised what happens. I'm out. Peace.